Attention, citizens. It's time for Super Pulp Science.
This is Super Pulp Science from the road. Yes, it is. I would like for the dear listener to know that for the last 2 hours, we've been moving at about 10 kilometers an hour on our way to the Calgary Expo. I would like Lennon to make a single noise to express his entire personality as related to this journey. I would like Sam to make up a limerick now that appropriately describes the feelings in the cab of this bestial truck the way you're driving through the hellscape of the roads right now.
There once was a truck in Saskatchewan, and no one could understand how to say Moosomin. I wish I was dead, but then I wouldn't have friends. Someday, we'll make it out of Saskatchewan.
This is good. I would ask Jonathan to also participate, except he's white-knuckling his way through the road. Oh, wait, we've come to a complete stop. So it is now safe to ask the driver. Tell us something, Jonathan.
Did that fucking guy that passed him go off the road and block the road?
Wouldn't that just be the hubris that we all deserve?
He had an American flag, so anything could happen.
So,
really offensive on this episode?
I think we can be. And I don't know if we have to record the entire episode. We could do little capsules of the journey, and then we could visit it as our mood either...
Dan likes his interstitial.
The question is, can you see Sam? Has this guy just stopped, or is he forced to stop?
I don't see anything on his side.
Like, can we pass him? Is what I'm worried.
I mean, I can't see anything. I would have to get out.
No,
For our southern listeners, a snowstorm is when an enormous amount of precipitation freezes on its way down to Earth, lands on the road you're traveling on, becomes icy barriers, and prevents your heroes from continuing on their journey. But this arduous trek is making us stronger, both as people and as creatives. Is that not true?
Dear listener, while the three of us that aren't Gregory, we're sitting here lamenting the fact that we are in a slow-moving winter hellscape,
Yet still moving.
Gregory decided the best remedy to this would be to pull out his cell phone and start recording us for a podcast episode. Because what could be better?
If I've learned anything from the modern internet, it's that...
I knew it.
If I've learned anything about the modern internet, it's that suffering is content.
Pulled over because he can't do anything.
So he
Voiced us. God, I'm glad I packed a pizza for this.
Yeah. I'm glad I packed a pizza for this. There's your podcast titles.
Oh my gosh. And I just want to point out, before I close the recording for this chapter, that written on my coffee cup, it says DOA. I'm not sure what that means. Is this the last recording of Super Pulp Science? I'm your host, Jim B. Kamichuk, encouraging you all to avoid the highway to Calgary.
Number 1 Trans-Canada Highway going west.
Now,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Here's a DOA thing for you. One time I was having iced tea with my friend. I was just in a restaurant.
Is this podcast appropriate? I'm still recording.
So we're in a restaurant and he orders an iced tea. And I go, I'll also have an iced tea, but make mine, poison mine. And then when you come to the table, switch mine with his. They didn't know how to take that.
Oh my God.
Well, I want you to know, dear listener, I want you to imagine a white, endless prairie with how?
Sky is white. The
Ground is white.
There is no hope.
No, there's one dark, inky line of the half-melted highway, just barely wide enough for us to continue a journey. Although, to be fair, half of our vehicle is on the shoulder of the highway. Well, the other half is in part of the lane. That is all that's clear. We are following some semi-trailers.
Look at it rocking.
How is this possible? How is there this much snow at the end of April?
Now, dear listener, welcome to the madness.
And how
The
have they
membrane
not
has been
plowed
broken.
any of it?
Yeah, we've been on this road for over an hour.
Okay, wait.
Where is the plow?
In the interest of full disclosure, dear listener, as they lament for the plow, I want to point out we passed the plow
Only one plow.
in a clear error of judgment. We
like-
thought, oh, that plow's going slow.
The plow should be quicker than us.
Yeah,
It should have
they
passed
could've
us by
caught
now.
No.
So it clearly turned around.
Choices were made, and now we're living
In hell.
on the opposite side of those choices.
And shout out to Scott Henderson, who is behind us in his column somewhere.
That's right. And Scott Ford is somewhere in this column.
Yes.
Yikes.
They
Breaks them.
reported from the road. They're back there somewhere.
They did report?
May God have mercy on our soul.
Now,
He should have flown like Justin. Oh, God.
yeah,
Fucking Justin.
our long-suffering co-host is not suffering at all. Justin Curry, known the world over as "I'm flying to Calgary, you sons of bitches." That's what he's.
Oh yeah, look at that. Scott Henderson posting online. The journey continues. He's got a photo of just snow past Brandon and across the Saskatchewan border. Winter has come again.
Oh my God. Yes. So from the snowy climbs between Winnipeg and
angered the snow.
Calgary, I told you it's my fault. I put my snow mitts away.
Yes, no, you're right.
I had them
You did
packed.
it. You're hubris.
The
Now.
hubris.
Now, Gregory, transition this to the dear listener and explain how this is related to making comics.
Okay. If you are a regular listener to our show, we are creative professionals who, despite our current poor choices, often have managed to marginally succeed in the landscape of Canadian publishing, comics and prose and graphic novels, a little film, a little television, a little theater, a little something. And part of our job is to go peer to peer, skipping distributors, skipping bookstores, skipping all that stuff, and doing expos and Comic-Cons so that people like you, the dear listener, can find us directly, look us in the eye, and see that we've regretted some of our choices. No, typically we're having a good time. And we chose to all pile in our stuff together into a gigantic truck and drive out to Calgary because we thought it would be fun. And usually it is fun.
Now, I'd also like to point out,
Jeez, that was so dangerous.
You're just gonna run into the next guy?
Yes, I hope so.
No, you just cut in.
Yeah, what a fucking moron.
I was literally
Road rage
trying
is
to
real.
slide in with some positive platitude, and we just couldn't. Let me try to get back there again.
Because, hold on, wait, because a gigantic tow truck nearly sideswiped us by careening through the icy snow beside us.
Dear listeners, welcome to Highway Sports, where we are the commentators because this is the purgatory we have trapped ourselves in. However, experiences like this make you a better creator. They tap into and access things that are only beneath the surface, and they bring them out, and they open you up to all kinds of possibilities, like perhaps I will die today.
Okay, let's make this a writing exercise right now, all four of us. Metaphor or simile? Metaphor or simile? Metaphor or simile? Describe.
Why are the doors locked?
Describe for us. You guys, you have no idea. The car is shaking so violently as we're driving. I wanted you to describe it. To me, it's like being a bottle in a ship in a storm of bottles.
In a snow globe.
That's right. Tell me more.
What else is it
I
like?
can't believe how much the car is shaking right now.
The ridges of ice on this highway are glacial.
It's clear.
It's not clear. It's only temporarily. Yeah.
We're all prisoners in this podcast, and you, the listener, have to be behind bars with us.
I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
What did we just listen to? You gotta be good prisoners, though, guys.
You're good prisoners, yes. Highly recommend. Lyndon put on the episode of the Modern Love podcast with Andrew Garfield, and it was such a wonderful start to this drive. How did we descend into the ninth circle of hell?
Wait, is the ninth circle of hell actually winter? What is the ninth circle?
It is literally
just the ninth circle? Or is that below the circle?
It's a stretch of prairie highway that is impassable by a 30-centimeter snowstorm on April 23rd.
I think the bottom of hell in Dante's Inferno is a frozen lake.
I think it is, yes.
It is. Satan is frozen in it. With his 3 heads chewing the 3 traitors.
Wow, listener, you got some classical education out of our just
mindless... Saskatchewan.
Just the mindless braying of this truck. And there is some blue sky, I think, in the gray intermingled somewhere up there in the firmament. We're going to find it. We're going to find it at some point. Dan, help us.
Just cut into blue sky, Dan.
Don't do it, Dan. Dan, and dear listener, I'm going to pause the recording now. It may be our final recording of Super Pulp Science. If you're discovering this from the cloud because our broken vehicle and bodies have been found somewhere in a ditch, you'll know why. We're making light of what is otherwise a quite dangerous situation, and we will tune in soon. Dan, we'll stitch it all together. It'll be fun.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last.
Oh no, is it Golden Temple?
This is the next chapter of our journey. We had a momentary catharsis, elation, if you will, as the highway cleared, the path ahead of us, like a sparkling, jeweled promenade. But now, just accidents piled up. A jackknife truck.
The tow truck to get out the jackknife truck. The extra tow truck.
The backup tow truck. There's a lot of tow trucks here.
And the insurance tow truck.
Oh my God, it is the insurance guy. It's literally right there.
Oh, there's 2 tow trucks.
Now, as long as this has not resulted in any loss of life, I think it's okay that we jest a little bit. Everything seems fine. There are no emergency vehicles. Not that they could have gone past us, I suppose.
Yeah, they'd be behind us somewhere.
Now, I would say to contextualize our reaction is just the sheer volume of semi-trucks blasting past us on some of the worst highway road conditions I have seen in a long time, thinking, I'm fine, I weigh 800 tons, and you all can get fucked. And now one is in the ditch.
Bitches end up in ditches. That's what I like to say.
Welcome to the Highway 1, where all the bad boys go in the ditch toilet.
I think this is going to be one of the Super Pulp Science episodes lost to the archives, the unpublished Super Pulp Science archives. There's been so much bad language and bad vibes in this car, but it's
we
like...
have to get them out somewhere, okay?
Yeah, it's built up like a miasma inside the cab. Our anxieties, our fears, our slight titillation at our own near-death experiences. I've actually never been on a highway like that. That was crazy.
That was terrible. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's probably the worst highway drive I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not done yet. We've got another 8.5 hours
You know what?
on the road.
We don't get a badge at the end of it. I don't get to say, I'm going to sew this to my collar. Thank you.
However,
We're in a
and I hope the dear listener can hear it in the voices of all those in the cab. There has been a shift from the last recording we had, which was, Gregory, get the stupid microphone out of my face. We're in a life or death situation.
It does seem to get better.
And now the highway has cleared. It is smoothed
sky
out.
is blue.
We're approaching a regular driving speed for the first time in 2 hours.
Yeah, we won't look at the time yet. We have received a communique from our Airbnb to inform us that when we arrive, there will be no water whatsoever in the building. Also, for the dear listener who's thinking to themselves, I've listened to all these episodes of Super Pulp Science and I've thought I should get on the road with my stuff. It's important that you see what it's really like from time to time.
Process.
This is the process. We'll tune in soon on the drive. This has been Jimmy Kamichek encouraging you to stay with us on this exciting journey to Calgary Expo.
I'm gonna hide this tape when I'm finished. If none of us make it, at least there'll be some kind of record.
This is Super Pulp Science. We're back on the road. Please describe our surroundings, Samantha Pico.
If you could take the word verdant and add a little bit of gray, that's where we are because there is grass. I repeat, we have come out the ass end of 10 feet of snow, 2 suddenly rolling hills, and melted tailing ponds. So we are in a safe, magical land that must be heaven.
And 0 snow. Not even like there's less snow.
Just none.
I imagined, though, when you said that, us driving our truck straight out of the back end of a frost giant, just like bursting forth and then landing on the highway.
Talking about a hot frosty.
Hot frosty. This episode of Super Pulp Science is brought to you by a long time on the road. Yeah, he may have to cut. Maybe we'll cut it with hot frosty. Yeah. So, typically, on a Super Pulp Science episode, what we will do is we will interview working writers and artists on their journey, their metaphorical journey. But we are now joining 3 writers and myself on an actual journey to Calgary Expo. And for the 8 minutes or so that we have before the next rest stop, I would like to ask you whether or not you think, as you said earlier, Samantha, that these arduous journeys, arduous, that's the word I'm looking for, arduous journeys, I got there. It was such a long journey. Do you think they actually do help us as authors? Is suffering necessary to make good art? Discuss.
I think we really needed to release the histrionic pressure that has now made us all so sleepy. That was just bubbling down there. It just needed to come out. And I feel like if you can do that in front of a word processor or a notebook or a canvas, then you're on your way. So just yell at a piece of paper, and that's how it happens. The secret's out.
Jonathan, do you think, Jonathan Ball, of our friendly podcast, Writing the Wrong Way, do you think suffering helps you as an artist?
No. I agree with Lynch about this, David Lynch, which is that, it doesn't help you at all. In fact, it hinders and hurts you. Now, the question is simply, to be an artist, you need craft skills. So if you can develop your craft skills and use it to express, your suffering, then that's fine. That'll work great. But you could just as easily express any other thing with the skills. And best case scenario, your suffering is going to not impede you. It will never really help you.
Dear listener, I want you to know that Jonathan doesn't honk.
No, he doesn't like to honk.
He doesn't like to honk. This is vital information that is contextual to his answer. He is not a man of celebration.
We had gotten through the worst of the storm. All 3 of us in the car were so elated. Ahead of us, we saw a plow coming in the opposite direction, clearing an emergency lane of snow. And we said, yay, we were all cheering. And Samantha said to Jonathan, honk, honk for the plow, hooray. And he just stared ahead in the gray haze and said in the most deadpan voice, I do not like to honk. And that has typified his journey as
to the gas station.
Oh, yeah, it's going to gas.
They see when I stop.
Yeah, he's got it marked on.
Yeah, it's up here.
3 minutes to go.
In 3.8 kilometers, turn right.
And in 3 minutes, you've got 3 minutes.
Highway 230. That is taking us to the gas station.
Suffering comes to that just for one moment.
Yeah, that's what we've been suffering through this whole time. I want to ask Lyndon now if suffering makes him a better artist.
No.
Why not?
No.
Oh, like you don't want to answer the question.
Correct.
No comment. We broke Lyndon. There are now only 3 artists and writers on the journey, myself included. One of them, he's left his soul on the wayside somewhere in Saskatchewan.
What was that?
In Sintaluda. He left his soul in Sintaluda with the manipulators. We saw the craziest sign that said, "Farmers, why are you happy?" And then it just had a giant, black letters that said manipulators. We're not sure what that means. Tune in a few more hours to this horrible episode of Super Pulp Science.
Now let's just throw it out.
That was one of those things out there, trying to imitate him, Gary.
This is Super Pulp Science, where we have just witnessed the most majestic truck parking in the history of truck parking. The show is over. I repeat, the Calgary Expo is over. We arrived safe. We dominated. Last thoughts before we do a full, proper postmortem episode on the Calgary Expo. Lyndon Rachanka, writer, letterer, comics maker extraordinaire. What do you have to say? Also, marvelous navigator and truck driver.
Monetarily speaking, probably the best Infinite Studio show we've had so far. Thank you so much to everyone who came out and picked up copies of Laundryman number 4. We are over half sold out already after one show only, so I'm assuming we're only going to get to at least one other show, maybe another show and a half before it fully sells out. Steven, you better get working because everyone wants to get Laundryman Book 2 in their hands.
We also had a very special dinner during the last 4 days, which we'll tell you all about on another episode. But Jonathan, how do you feel about Calgary Expo, Stranger Fiction's coming out party?
You know, I just wanted, my goals coming in were to not lose money and not get food poisoning, and I accomplished both goals.
We still have 2 meals to go.
Well, so far, so good.
No food poisoning, no more accidents, no more snowstorms. We made it, and the full breakdown of what happened at the show we will do once Chasing Artwork, known the world over as Justin Curry, is back in studio, safe and sound, being a super dad again. We'll all talk soon. Thanks for tuning into our herring adventures. This is GMB Kamichuk encouraging you to join the fight and make comics.
Did you say herring adventures? It sounded like you said
Harrowing, not herring.
I think you said herring adventures.
No, that would be something fishy.
Dan Utah.
We're not fishy.
What do we do?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while? See what happens.
This is Super Pulp Science, a podcast about how genre gets made. And this is an addendum to the Calgary Comic-Con crazy frenetic adventure. In order to ground myself, I went for a walk down by the Bow River on the outskirts of downtown Calgary into the suburbs where green space still exists. And in the curve of the Bow River, I found a huge downed oak tree. And what's funny about it is I loved as a kid to walk up and down fallen trees, and so did just that, to discover that on this majestic but fallen creature, there are all kinds of signs of a tree fort left in its branches, little nailed on bits of wood, so weathered and so rusted that make the perfect little path up the tree, which means that this, if I measure it out, it's got to be 40 feet in the air. This treehouse used to be up in this old oak, and it comes across and spans this little ravine. Not too dangerous, dear listeners, but like maybe I'm about 20 feet, 25 feet in the air in the branches of this tree right now. But the reason I've stopped is because I'm surrounded by snakes. It's early spring and all the garter snakes are out in force. Everywhere you can look and listen, you can see the slithering little pals doing their best to find a sunny spot. There are loons nesting nearby, and there are geese galore and there is not a hiker nor a person in sight. And this is exactly the calm I needed after the frenetic adventure that was the Calgary Expo. I also did a couple of book events at Owl's Nest Books, and it might have been the name of that bookstore that made me seek nature. What a wonderful writing community here in Calgary. And thanks to my buddy Tom, who put me up for the night. He lives nearby the Bow River here, and I am feeling pretty good. If this is my last transmission, it's been a fun adventure. However, the snakes look friendly, and I am just getting ready to carry on my merry way. As is my tradition, I did my best to memorize a Emily Dickinson poem, and having done so, I am now returning from the woods. This is Jim B. Kamichuk, encouraging you to join the fight and make comics. You never do know where it's going to take you.